Imagine you're driving through the Catskill Mountains, in New York. You're surrounded by pine forests and winding roads, not another car in sight. Suddenly, your GPS tells you that you've arrived at your destination. In this case, Agloe, New York. You look around. But there's nothing. No post office, no welcome sign, not even a building. Just trees and silence. And yet, there's the name. You can see it on maps, GPS databases, and even in state records. But here's the twist. Agloe was never supposed to exist. It started as a fake location, planted by mapmakers, as a clever trap. So how did this fictional town become a real place? How was it supposed to be a trap? And who lived there? Or, did anyone? This is the story of Agloe, and it's one of the weirdest things to ever happen to a map. Welcome to our weird world, where the strangest stories become reality. If you love these kinds of tales, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. This way, you'll be notified whenever new content comes out, and you won't miss any of the world's deepest mysteries. Now let's dive in on today's new story. In the 1930s, the General Drafting Company was one of America's most respected map publishers. Otto G. Lindbergh and Ernest Alpers were two cartographers working for the company. But they had a problem. They noticed that their carefully drawn maps were being copied by rival companies. To stop this, they used a trick, still common in publishing today. A copyright trap. They invented a town, called Agloe, and placed it at a rural junction, in the Catskills. The name wasn't random. In fact, it was an anagram of their initials. They figured, if another company's map also had Agloe on it, they could prove plagiarism. And sure enough, not long after, Agloe appeared on maps made by Rand McNally, one of their biggest competitors. But what they didn't expect was that Agloe would escape the page. General Drafting was ready to sue, proving that Rand McNally had copied them. But the counterpart had a surprising defense. Not only they hadn't copied General Drafting, they had confirmed Agloe's existence in real life. But how can a place with an invented name be real? Here's where things get weird. Sometime after Agloe first appeared on maps, a small general store was built, exactly at the location marked with that name. The store owner had seen Agloe on a map, and assumed it was a real town. So, he called his business, the Agloe General Store. Soon, other people started using the name too. The place got listed in local directories. State records began to acknowledge Agloe as a real location. A place that never existed was now officially on the map. It's the cartographic version of a self-fulfilling prophecy. People believed Agloe was real, so they made it real. How often do we build reality based on what we expect to find? And how many other fake places have quietly slipped into existence the same way? When General Drafting saw Agloe appear on Rand McNally's maps, they were furious. It was clear, at least to them, that their map had been copied. After all, Agloe was a trap. It wasn't supposed to exist. But when they threatened legal action, this is how Rand McNally responded. We didn't copy your map. We sent someone to verify the town. There's a store there. It's real. In the eyes of the law, Rand McNally had a point. A fake town, that becomes real, thanks to belief and usage, creates a gray zone, in copyright law. The case didn't go much further. But it forced cartographers and publishers to reconsider how they used and defended these so-called trap streets and paper towns. It also raised a deeper question. If enough people believe in something, even something fake, can it become real? And what does that mean for everything else we assume is true? Despite briefly becoming real, Agloe never grew into a town. The general store eventually closed. The traffic faded. The dot disappeared from new maps. By the early 2000s, most digital maps removed Agloe once again. The name lingered, only in trivia books and urban legend websites. But then, something strange happened. Agloe reappeared. On Google Maps, Apple Maps and GPS systems worldwide. But why? Because its story had become too famous. Too weird, and too good to erase. Agloe even made its way into pop culture. It appears in novels, like Paper Towns by John Green, where the idea of a fake town becomes a metaphor for illusion, identity, and searching for the truth. Today, if you search for Agloe, New York, you'll find it. But you won't find a town. Just a dusty intersection, off Route 206. A few trees, and maybe a rusted road sign. But, can we call it a place? Or is it just a memory of a story that refuses to die? Agloe forces us to confront something most of us take for granted. We believe maps. We trust that what's printed is accurate. That every dot on the page has meaning. But what if those dots shape the world instead of just reflecting it? What if names on paper can spark buildings, businesses, even lives? Agloe is a paradox. A place created by deception that became real through belief. A fictional invention that outlived its purpose. A joke that turned into a legacy. And it's not alone. Across the world, there are paper towns, trap streets, and phantom settlements. Some were invented to catch cheaters. Others, to protect secrets. And a few, perhaps, are still waiting to be found. So the next time you look at a map, ask yourself this. Are you reading reality, or helping to write it? The story of Agloe is more than a geographic glitch. It's a mirror, held up to the strange ways humans create meaning, identity, and place. So tell us, what's the weirdest place you've ever found on a map? Drop it in the comments, and if you're fascinated by stories where fiction bleeds into reality, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our weird world, and tap the bell. Because sometimes, the places that shouldn't exist are the ones that stay with us the longest.